Have you heard of Archeoastronomy? I am the Honorable Priest Isaac, and I am certified in the field of Archeoastronomy. Do you want to learn Archeoastronomy? Well, book your ticket today and join me in the Caribbean in the island of Antigua for 9 days and nights, 7 of which will be in the classroom studying and in the field researching on Greencastle Hill, Mount Anu, the Stonehenge of the Caribbean. This is a studycation. You will visit the beach, experience the Rastafari camps, yoga, vegan food, and much more. For more information, visit priestisaacinstitute.com or email us at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com.
Yes, my royal family, blessed love, give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie I. Now, Family Day is a grand astronomical event taking place right now as you're watching this, obviously in the heavens. It's astronomical, and I'm going to tell you about it right now. But tonight's program really is designed, dedicated to, livicated to reading your astronomical chart. Now, of course, I mean, thousands and maybe millions and billions will see this. So it's not going to be the reading of everyone's natal chart or your birth chart, but I will be showing you the techniques of exactly how to understand the reading of your natal chart. And listen to me good, family, this is very important. This is to prove that astrology, the astrological natal chart, is definitely off course. I'm talking about the astronomical event that is taking place tonight as it relates to the moon, as it relates to the heavens, as it relates to the constellation Scorpio. It's happening now. All astronomers agree, and even astrologers agree. It's actually international headline news. And if that astronomical event is correct, what I'm going to show you tonight will prove that astrology is not only off, but it could be detrimental and dangerous for those who are genuinely looking for a proper and accurate reading. Very important, my family. So all I want you to do is get comfortable. Don't go anywhere. Let's get into this.
Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones, coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed.
All right, royal family, give thanks for such. And of course, again, as you see, priestisaacinstitute.com, or you can email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, and you could definitely get your own official natal chart reading document. It's not just the reading, it's a document that you will be getting. Now, even before we go thus far, I just would like to highlight even to the royal family, just a reminder, of course, we are talking about this year, we are talking about our international homeschool enrollment program. I will be showing you something as it relates to that in a moment. But of course, even for yourself, the question I'll be asking you really, even at this time, is when were you born? You understand? What is your date of birth, as they would call it? And that is what we will be getting into in a few moments. All right. But again, just a reminder to everyone, the International Homeschool Program, the enrollment party. Remember, we're talking about the 17th of March. The 17th of March. Just make sure you register early. That's all you got to do. And registration is free. It's all about parents. It's all about the young ones. It's all about the children. It's all about inspiring them. And again, come, oh parents, and come prepared to understand what the International Homeschool Program is all about. We're going to have some special guests as well. Definitely, we're going to have free gifts for all who enroll. And of course, we're still going to have a free education package for all who register in general. And again, registration is definitely free. We will have live activities. It's going to be a wonderful session. I'm looking forward to each and every one to be a part of this. And even if you don't have any children, you know, and of course you are, you know, followers of the Institute, fans of the Institute, you can still contact us and register and get your link, because remember, this is not a program that is going to be like on YouTube or anything like that. Maybe sometime in the future, we may have excerpts of it on YouTube or something of the sort, and Instagram, what have you. But this is going to be online, but not on the public network. So you definitely have to contact us to get the link, your online link for whatever platform we will be using, so that you can join us. Again, that's Sunday, the 17th of March. Just 2 hours, but 2 beautiful hours of information, inspiration, colors, joy, music, laughing, dancing, storytelling. Is just going to be beautiful for the young ones, the little ones. Why you didn't do it in African History Month? We are doing it in African History Month. March is African History Month. You didn't know? Yes, yes, yes. April is African History Month. The last time I checked, September was African History Month. Oh my, don't talk about December. African History Month. It's February, it's March, it's January. It's all African History Month to us. So definitely, family, give thanks for your presence once again. And of course, Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Make sure you tune into Radio Anu. The link is in the description below this video. The link for the website, just go below the video and press it, and you will go straight to the website where everything, all the information and everything is available for you there. Now, as I said, even as we are speaking, you know, there's a special event, activity taking place in the heavens. Now, the new moon is scheduled to be on the 9th of February. So what I want to do, first of all, I'm going to highlight the heavens here for you. And many of you, you're quite familiar with the Sky app or the Sky chart that we use. As you can see, the time here. So we have the second month, the 4th day, which is now the second month, the 4th day, 2024. And we have here approximately 8:43. Good. So in the evening, and at this time, as I'm speaking to you now, let me make sure you understand where you are in the heavens. So, for example, let me remove the clock so it doesn't distort your vision and understanding of things here. Let me make sure everything is clear for you. Very good. So what you have, you're looking at the constellation of Orion. Now, of course, you know, you have the Greek rendition where you have the man with the club and some dead animal over his left arm. That is, well, that is Orion, but that is not Sahu at all, at all, at all. So that's the difference there. So it's deep theology if we have to go into that and even deep philosophy. But let's just deal with the astronomy for the moment so we don't confuse what we are saying. Now, the moon. The moon will be full in a few days. As I said, on the 9th. On the 9th of February, we will be witnessing a full moon. Now, we have here the moon itself actually going through what is known in astronomical term as an occultation with the star known as Antares. That is when the moon somewhat eclipses it, and it gives this bright light behind the moon. In fact, this is a special event right now in certain places of the world or on the earth. You can see this. They say, I think in Asia or these places, you get a better view for this specific event here tonight with the moon and Antares. So as the moon gives Antares that special eclipse or occultation, you know, it gives a special glare. Now, if you observe, this is Scorpio here for those who can see. You can see the constellation of Scorpio. Let me just put the rendition, the artist Greek rendition to it, so you can see the scorpion here. Very good. So obviously Scorpio looks like somewhat of a dragon with its mouth open and this tail. Really, really has the scorpion look. In fact, it's one of the more easier constellations to see. I am just taking out the lines. You know, the lines are somewhat like training wheels, and you could still observe the constellation Scorpio. But look, family, it is when you come and visit me in Antigua here, and we go on Greencastle Hill, and I show you the constellations from there. That is when you're going to really see the beauty. But for now, this is now, right now, according to the time, even on this premiere here. Let us get the time proper. So this is 8:46. What you're looking at here is 8:46 in the evening on the 4th of February, 2024. So you may be watching this video sometime after. That's my point. But at the time of 8:46, the 4th of the second month, the moon was having a special occultation, as it's called in astronomical term, with Antares. Now, I will show you the mystics behind that. So the moon, remember, the moon is the swiftest of the objects that are in the ecliptic belt. It's even, I mean, the speed that it moves, it's faster than Mercury. So that means within 1, 2, 3 hours, within 3 hours, just before midnight, then we go and we visit the moon again. You can obviously see that the moon has already begun to move away from the star Antares. Now, that's just within 3 hours. So the moon is very swift. That's the point I'm making. So this special event with the moon and Antares is actually happening right now at the exact time that you are first hearing this episode being aired. The premiere of this is done to align with the moment when Antares and the moon are together, somewhat kissing each other, but the moon is really eclipsing Antares to some degree. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this, again, this is nothing that we are making up. It's nothing like, wow, we didn't know that. I mean, you go and read any astronomical magazine. In fact, you can go and look at the news. Even the news is highlighting this phenomenon tonight in the heavens. Look out at the night sky. You're going to see something that you do not regularly see. You know, the news is going to highlight this. So this is nothing that anyone can deny. You following me? All right. Now, the reason why I am highlighting this is because on the 24th day of this month, February, we will have a full moon. Wow, you don't say. Yes, I did say. And this full moon is already, they refer to it as a micro moon. Here it is, a micro snow moon. Why is it called a micro snow moon? Well, just the time frame itself. I mean, it's still cold, you know. Some consider it like midwinter now. But the micro snow moon, as they refer to it as, will be somewhat far away from the planet Earth then. More closer to the time of apogee. That is when the moon is at its furthest point in its orbit, that is, from the planet Earth. So the moon now, the full moon, will appear somewhat small. Now, this full moon will be in the constellation of Leo. No, priest, I think you have it wrong, huh? Pardon me? No, I think you have it wrong, huh? You're usually correct, you know. I am? Yes, you're usually correct, but I think you may be a bit off this time. You don't say. Yes, you're a little bit off. Huh? Tell me what's wrong. Well, you know, the moon was in Leo last month, you know, brother. You need to keep up. I've been studying astrology for a while. The moon is going to be in Virgo. Come on, I have all the astrology magazines here. Is that so? Without boring anyone, without putting anyone to rest, let me just clearly say, if the moon is sitting on Antares tonight as I speak to you, it is impossible for the moon to be in Virgo on the 24th day of this month, and that case is closed. I'm not going to pull up the blackboard and get the chalk and give you no long mathematical geometric rendition. In fact, we would have done that already. To be honest, without sounding insulting, the listeners can do the maths themselves. It's just maths. It's called astronomy. It is impossible. It is impossible if the moon is sitting over Antares, which is the bright star in the constellation of Scorpio. In fact, it's called Alpha Scorpii. If the moon is really occulting Alpha Scorpii tonight, around this time, between 8 and 9 Eastern Caribbean time, if that is the truth, and this same moon will be a full moon on the 24th, it is impossible, according to the maths, for the moon to be in the constellation of Virgo on the 24th. And I rest my case, you know. I'm not going to try to prove it. Someone, if anyone disagrees, they're going to have to disprove it. It can't happen. Now you may say, so what's your beef? Well, I ain't got no beef at all. You can come and look in the refrigerator for yourself. There's no beef. But what I could tell you is that in a few weeks, days maybe, the astrologers are going to come out of the hole. Oh, my little petunias. All my Virgo people, this is your moon. The moon now, the micro moon is going to be in Virgo. And you know what that means, because Virgo means this and Virgo means that. Now, listen to me, family. This is what I'm trying to say, is that this is deep understanding. Eh? And as I've always said, and those who may be listening to this this let me just say, this speech, this sort of rhetoric, if you want to say, rhetoric with action though, for the first time, it may seem somewhat antagonistic or whatever. No, it's a genuine thing. It is genuine. It may have a little force to it because one's appears if they don't even want to pretend they even hear what you're talking about. But I'm going to show you what I'm talking about this evening, and I hope you have time. So again, before I move off of this aspect, I'm going to be going into your natal chart in a few moments, family. But before I get off of this aspect of it, let me just somewhat summarize or reiterate the point. The moon, the full moon on the 24th, according to obvious astronomy, that you can use your eyes and see when the time comes, the moon will be in the constellation of Leo. Last month, it was not in Leo. It was in Kepler, or Cancer as it is called, the dung beetle as the resurrection. And this is not just what we see. We're dealing with the whole aspect of even the 30-degree home space that each constellation demands. Look at where the moon will be. The moon is dead center, as they call it, in the Leo constellation. Dead center, alive center, not dead. Dead, not dead here. The moon is alive center in the constellation of Leo. And the astrologers will be telling you that Leo, or that the moon, full moon, the 24th, is a Virgo moon. So where's the moon now? If the 24th is a Virgo moon, that means the moon should be in Libra now and not Scorpio. This is mathematics, Rastafari. Take it from I. All right, good. Now, I have some information here that I just want to share with you before we start to go into the natal chart reading. So when were you born? When were you born? Month and day and year. When were you born? Because you see, we have to go through the natal charts reading swiftly. All right. Now, I did a program the other evening dealing with the Vedic science. Those of you who follow me on the Tiger's Nest, you know exactly what I was speaking of. And we actually read from this article taken from mindbodygreen.com that I like, I don't want to say that, highlighted, I should say, the difference between Vedic and Western astrology explained. Now, of course, you know, Vedic astrology is really according to some taken from the Indian tradition. And as I would have expressed in my program a few evenings ago, the Indian tradition, as you refer to it as, is really an African tradition. And some people may be saying, oh, you're trying to make everything African, because some people accuse us of that. No, we're trying to make everything the truth. I mean, when you're going to talk about ancient China and the first dynastic period of China and the first 2 and 3 dynastic periods of China, you're talking about Africans. When you're talking about karate and kung fu, what's his name? That brought kung fu to China, Bodhidharma, black man from India. But this India was Africa. This is Eastern Ethiopia. Even the Bible in the book of Esther, chapter 1, shows you that the kingdom of Ethiopia went as far as to India. You know, the Dravidians, the untouchables, they call these black people today. You understand? But even they themselves were not the original people of that time. The Buddha, you see the statues of the Buddha. The Buddha, yes, a black man with knotty hair. You follow it? With the locks, the Buddha. So the point I'm making is a lot of the ancient cultures of the world that we have separated ourselves from really even belong to us as a people. as an African people. Yeah. That's why we have resurrected ancient astronomy. Let me just read this for you quickly so we can get into a few things here. If you are into astrology, you've undoubtedly mapped your birth chart. Okay, everyone hasn't done that. And maybe even looked up your astronomical compatibility with a love interest. I don't know how many people would have done that. Let me just go straight to the history of Vedic astrology. The Sanskrit word for Vedic astrology or Hindu astrology is Yotisa, loosely translated to light or heavenly body. And the modality seems to have first appeared in the Veda, an ancient Indian text through, though some assert it has been around since 10,000 BCE. And of course, Sanskrit and even the Rig Veda are again considered ancient African, the language itself and the writing. Listen, fam, you are talking about 10,000 years BCE. Anything that gone 10,000 years BCE, you have to consider the African presence. We're not trying to rob anyone of their culture. You understand? This is why when you get into the science of Vishnu and Shiva and these fellas, they were dark, blue, black. Krishna is a word. The Christ, the black Christ, that's what Krishna means. So we have to look into these things. So even though some argue that Sanskrit is the first language, people argue that, quite debatable. But even if it was to win the debate, it still would fall into the lap of the original people. And that's just the truth. Vedic astrology contains within it the rich spiritual traditions and myths of ancient Indian culture. See? Explains founder of Moon Dance Vedic Astrology and author of Vedic Astrology for Beginners, Pamela McDowell, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Even today, throughout much of India, Jyotish is an accepted science, and many is part of their life. For many, is part of their life. I think the J in that is silence instead of Tisa or Yotisa. Where's the word again? Yotisa. Where is it? Yotishi. All right. Now, what I want to highlight here for you is the 12 Vedic signs. Just like in Western astrology, there are 12 signs in the Vedic zodiac. And interestingly, the characteristics of the signs are pretty much the same too. The difference lies in the dates. You hear that? Listen good. The difference lies in the dates. So if you swear by the identity prescribed by your Western sun sign, that means your horoscope sign. If you swear by the identity prescribed by your Western sun sign, prepare to have your boat rocked a little. The Vedic sign dates are as follows. Here it goes. Aries is connected to Misha, and that's April 13th to April 14th. Taurus, which is Varishaba, is May 15th to June 14th. What? Gemini, connected to Mithuna, is June 15th to July 14th. Cancer is connected to Kata, is July 15th to August 14th. Then you have Leo, is Simha. Interesting. Remember, lion is Simba, but in the Sanskrit, Leo is Simha. Simha. I tell you, it's African stuff. But anyway, Simha, August 15th to September 15th. Virgo is Kanya, September 16th to October 15th. Libra is Tula, October 16 to November 14. Scorpio is Varishika, November 15 to December 14. Sagittarius is the Hanus, which is December 15 to January 13th. Capricorn is Makara, which is January 14th to February 11th. Aquarius is Kumbha, which is February 12th. February 12th. You see when Kumbha, you see when Aquarius begins, February 12th, Kumbha to March 12th. And Pisces, which is Mina, which is March 13th to April 12th. All right, to some people, this doesn't even mean a thing to them. But even if you think it doesn't mean anything to you, it's still good knowledge that you should look into. Now, those of you who follow your horoscope, that's why we call it a horoscope. In fact, let's begin with Capricorn, which is said to be my sign. Now, you all know that I've been telling you from such time that from my personal calculation, Capricorn, the sign of Capricorn, begins, at least in this time, begins around the 12th or the 13th of January. According to the Vedic astrology, Capricorn begins on the 14th of January. According to Western astrology, Capricorn begins on the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. It's 22nd or 23rd of December. Now again, I was born on the 2nd of January. So I definitely fall into the Capricorn category. But I'm telling you again, family, that because of the natural shift in the heavens, that's all. Nothing to be ashamed about. The heavens declare the glory. The sun moves 1 degree every 72 years. So whatever was taking place 720 years ago, there's a 10-degree shift 720 years after. And you see, in a nutshell, this is the problem that we have with modern day astrology. It is utilizing a chart that is centuries old. And what's worse, this is the chart coming out of the halls of medieval Europe during the darkest of ages. So we're dealing with Merlin and Archimedes and these wizards and witches and their charts that has not moved one iota in hundreds of years. When the heavens is a living thing, when the heavens is moving, alive and growing, it's alive. So it cannot be the same after almost 1,000 years, when an age is 2,160 years. Again, that's why the sun moves 1 degree every 72 years. So in 2,160 years, it could move 30 degrees to fulfill an age. And you're telling me almost half the age has passed and nothing has changed on the astrological chart? And the whole world is religiously following this. And these religious astrologers are even cashing in. And people are getting readings that are not genuine. This is what it's about. It's about the truth. So I can show you clearly now, fam. In reality, this is why, when you observe, let me show you now. When were you born? Observe it. As I said, the 2nd of January. Let me give you that date. In fact, it doesn't even have to be the year, just the 2nd of January in general. and I will show you with understanding what it is I am speaking about. Now, again, according to the Vedic science, remember the Vedic science or the Vedic astrology, or I would say astronomy, is dealing with a correct astronomy. The Vedic science, and I still have some differences with it, you know. But of course, if you're going to compare it to the Western astronomical outlook, it's totally, totally different. Because at least it is paying attention to, again, the living heavens. It is paying attention to the living astronomical clock. It is not just saying, well, you know, we're going to be lazy about this. Now, for example, 2024, the 2nd of January, you will observe that the sun is right at the forehead, kissing the forehead of Sagittarius. That's what's happening now. Okay, yes, I mean, I wasn't born in 2024, but when it comes to the sun, in a regular person's lifespan, wherever the sun was when they were born, that's really where the sun is when they're 50. That's really where the sun is when they're 72. It would have moved just 1 degree, and that doesn't look dramatically different. You understand what I'm saying? The moon and the planets and all of these different things, they displace, they change their position from year to year, obviously, but the sun is at the same spot. But just for, you know, for the record's sake, let's go to 1976. Of course, you know, that is when your brother came through on the 2nd day of January. You see the sun basically at the same place. It's just the moon and all of these stuff bouncing all about the place. But the point I'm making here, as it relates to, of course, Sagittarius here. So you have Sagittarius. Let me put up the animal rendition. Let me take off the coordinate lines and put up the animal rendition for those who may need that assistance. So you have Sagittarius here, and the sun is in Sagittarius when I was born. This is Capricorn over here. The sun is not in Capricorn as yet. In fact, when we observe, let me show you the science here. I'm going to put back the coordinates. And these, you see right here, this is what you would say the gateway. Each constellation has its own area of 30 degrees. And as you can see, when I was born, the sun was basically in the center of the power of Sagittarius. But yet still, I'm considered to be a Capricorn. All right. Now, according to Vedic science, Capricorn begins around the 14th of January. Now, if you observe this, realistically, it's on the 17th, you see the sun touching the borders or the border that separates Sagittarius from Capricorn. This is real science. And then it enters into Capricorn. That's in 1976, all the way around the 19th of January. And as I said, what is taking place in the heavens tonight, right now, as I am speaking to you, is proof that the ancient astronomical science that I bring to you is correct. Because tonight, once again, the moon is eclipsing or having an occultation with the star in Scorpio, which is known as Antares. In fact, you can go outside and look at that. And when you observe, well, you wouldn't see it like in that fashion there, but I mean, you have to have some serious equipment to even gaze that one day for sure. But what I'm saying, if I'm correct with that, and it's not me to be correct with that, you know, that's what the world is saying. The news is saying that. The news is highlighting that. Astronomy is highlighting that, and astrology is not denying that. So if all of this is so, as I said earlier, that means the moon for the 24th day of February, which is the full moon, cannot be in Virgo. It cannot be, it's impossible. It has to be in Leo, which it will be in Leo. It's just that the world of astrology is mathematically off. You know, it's hard to believe because one old little Rastaman here somewhere in the Caribbean keeps saying the same old thing and nobody in the world bothering with him. The Vedic people, they bothering with. You can say what you want. The Vedic people are paying attention to what I am saying because they for sure, from ancient of times, have been keeping up with the movement of the astronomical clock. It is the Western astrology that has stuck maybe some 600 years ago and just hasn't moved and come and made a whole business out of this. $1 billion business, $1 billion industry built on lies. I'm talking, well. And I'm here literally unearthing and even if you want to use the term, lifting up the skirts, lifting up the garments and exposing the obvious lies of modern day astrology. Don't take it lightly. It's not a nice thing. It's not our friends on the other side. No. It's racketeering. It's a business. It's like religion. Those who are perpetrating a fraud are well aware of the fact that they are off the grid. They don't care. It's almost like the same mentality, greed and wickedness that would have fueled the slave masters during the time of the Atlantic slave trade. And if you can see how a people could be so wicked and heartless to deal with another people in such a way, well, fooling off people about the movements of the heavens, that's small stuff. Yeah, small stuff. They know. But they would not even respond to me because responding to me is going to bring more attention to me. Come on, leave him alone, Bill. But he keeps saying the same thing. Oh, come on, nobody's listening to him. Come on, what? He just has a couple thousand views. You're right. Come on, let's listen to him. Let's go ahead and do what we're doing. The full moon. We have a big event coming up this month. Don't make no little Rastaman detract you. Let him and his followers do what they're doing down there in Jamaica. Yeah, real thing, eh? But that's how you go. In Jamaica, no? You will see who is in Jamaica soon. But so family, let me not bore you anymore there. When were you born? You know? So again, it's all about understanding the heavens and the movements of the heavens and anything that is related to such. And, you know, in this time, many ones I know challenge the importance of even comprehending something like that, of where you were born and when you were born and the circumstances even surrounding, you know, that actual birth as such. Now, looking at the sky chart, I think a moment ago I was showing you. Let me get that for you once again so that you could see it properly. I was showing you a moment ago, but I don't think I was sharing the screen. So let me just make you see that clearly without any misunderstanding. I'm going back to the 2nd of January. So watch this good, family. Going back to the 2nd of January here. See it here, 2nd of January. I was showing you that you have the border here. This is a 30 degree between the hours of the heavens. That's 13 degrees. So like, for example, what you have as the what ones we call the right ascension. People will call it longitude. You have hours. So Sagittarius is between 16, 17, no, 18, 19, 20. So Sagittarius is between hour 18, hour 19, and hour 20. That makes up 30 degrees. That's basically what I'm saying. And I'm showing you that at my birth, the sun was right smack in the middle of that whole 30-degree perspective. Showing you again, somewhere around the 16th, 17th, you see the sun coming out of the border, crossing over the border that separates Sagittarius from Capricorn. You see it there? And then you see the sun step over and goes into the Capricorn zone. So I could never be a Capricorn. I have to be of Sagittarius. Again, the Vedic science clearly showed you it's around the 14th, according to their science, that the Capricorn phase begins. To me, it may be a few days different, but they're closer than, much closer than modern day astrology. And that's my point. So this is why I have a natal chart reading, family, which I'm going to do a bit of now, where we actually show you, well, not show you really. We read your chart for you. You give us your birthday. You give us the place you were born. The time you were born is very important, because if we don't get the time, it makes creating the chart much more difficult, because it's a long story. I wouldn't even get into that here. But if you know the exact time you were born, it is better. If you don't, it's all right. The creation of the chart may cost you just a bit more if you don't know the time, but it's okay. We would still do it. But if you know the exact time, oh, voila, that is perfection. And I'll show you why in a moment. So when we create the natal chart for you now, the natal chart clearly shows you not only where every heavenly body, sun, moon, and every planet was when you were born. I will give you the exact coordinates, so you will understand the coordinates. You see, I'm talking about right ascension and all of these different things. You get the exact coordinates of exactly when you were, where each planet and the sun and the moon was when you were born. And then you get the astronomical reading, which I will be giving you a bit of right now, so you get a better understanding of what the astronomical readings are all about. So yes, family, this is very important. We are talking about your natal chart, and I'm asking again, I know I have several birthdays already on the table, you know, but you can still send them in. Yes, you can still send them in. The question is, when were you born? And we're going to see how many we can cover tonight. Obviously, it's not going to be as concise as if you are to order your natal chart. That only makes sense, because you see, your natal chart document that you get from us is very comprehensive. Very, very, very comprehensive. It's a document, you know, that you can print and you have it. It's not you talking to me on the phone for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and I telling you, well, the sun was here and the moon was there, and this mean this and this mean that. No, no, no. It's something that I take my time with. Every individual that orders their natal chart, I consider that project a very special project, you know, because I'm getting to learn you as I'm going through your chart, going through the heavens, and I'm the one that will write the conclusion for you. So it's a special thing. It's a very precious thing for me, a very serious thing as well. And of course, this is not no astrological readings where they're giving you the wrong reading because they're not following the astronomical clock. All right.
Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones. coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Blessed.
Yes, family, definitely. And of course, remember, when you order your natal chart, it's a document, and you'll be getting free another document that we have available. And this document will actually, somewhat even assist you with understanding even the natal chart document that you are receiving. So, and this document specifically is planet, plants, and constellations. This actually is a document that shows you the value of the planets. It shows you the value of the constellation. It shows you which planets is connected to which constellation and which planet is connected to which planet. It's very deep. It's only, I think it's of a value of $12. You can get it for $12, family. You can visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or you can email us and say, I would like a copy of the planets, plant, and constellation document, which again shows you the different planets and how they connect with specific constellations. For example, this is showing you that the moon is governed really by Cancer, because the constellation, this is deep. I'm going to show you how it goes tonight. You see, the constellation represents the throne, while the planets really represents the personality. So when the planet sits on the throne, that is where the personality gets its power, through the characteristic of the throne. It's deep. So each constellation is like a throne, because everyone natal chart covers every planet, but it doesn't necessarily cover every constellation. I wonder if you follow me. So you may have the moon, the sun, Mars, Mercury, all the planets. You have to have an account of every planet, but you don't necessarily have an account of every constellation. The day you were born, maybe there was no activity whatsoever in Scorpio. The sun was in one constellation, the moon, maybe it was a new moon, and the moon was in the same constellation as the sun. Mars and Mercury may have been somewhere else, Jupiter and Saturn, and just Scorpio didn't have any activity, or Capricorn didn't have any activity. You understand? But so there's no record for these constellations in your natal chart, but there's a record for every planet. But every planet is linked to a constellation. So really all the personalities are involved in. But depending on where a planet is when you were born, meaning in what constellation, that speaks to the activity of that characteristic and how it can be activated. Don't worry, I will show you even as we go along. So again, this is the document. This is a e-document. It is Planet, Plants, and Constellation. It's a very nice read with some beautiful pictures, everything designed right here at the Institute, all designed by the Honorable Prince Almasi, of course. What you have here, again, for example, it's showing you that Taurus and Libra, both constellations, are connected to Venus, you see? And they all, both Taurus and Libra as constellations, and Venus as a planet, they all deal with harmony. They deal with beauty. You understand? And the physical aspect is the kidneys, thyroids, and the reproductive system. So if, let's just say, for example, Venus is in Taurus or Venus is in Libra when you were born, that person When they were born, believe me, with that combination, you are a, what's the word I should use? When it comes to harmony, when it comes to love, when it comes to beauty, that is your peak. That is you. That is your name. Why? Because Venus now, whatever Venus stands for, and remember, Venus is not just love, Venus is war, which is love too. As you know, Taurus is a charging animal, which represents battle and offense, which could be seen as war. Mars is war too. Mars is more seen as defense. This is deep. Now, Libra is what they call war, but war is a term. You have to be careful with the term. Sometimes the term war just means determination, but Libra now is justice. And because Libra represents justice, that's why the scripture says that the ruler that came out of the virgin shall rule with a rod of iron. So to rule with a rod of iron, there's a certain level of determination and authority. So you get that from all of these heavenly bodies here. You get it from Venus, you get it from Taurus, you get it from Libra. But keep in mind, they all still deal with harmony. They all deal with beauty. And they all deal with love. So believe it or not, you are born on a day when Venus is in Taurus or Venus is in Libra. That means that you have that strong potential. We're dealing with potential now of harmony, to be harmonious, to create harmony around you. That's in you, you know. And the fact that the harmony planet is in Libra, that means now the qualities of Libra, which is the same, which is more harmony, but with justice. And with a rod of iron, that means you must have a certain level of authority with your harmony and love to create the harmonious environment around you that you desire. If the same Venus was in Taurus, the story is the same with just a slight little tweak as such. Because Taurus, believe it or not, the charging bull is also harmony, beauty, love, kidneys. That is why in the ancient Kemetic tradition, what does it say about the bull and kidneys? It says, Ra, as Apis the bull, eats the kidneys of the king. That's in the Egyptian book of the living. Ra, as Apis the bull, eats the kidneys of the king. Now, you know, bulls don't eat kidneys. But obviously, this is ancient esoteric science that we love to unravel, being expressed right here in front of us. So Taurus now is the charging bull, you know, just like Venus has a war spirit too. Remember, Venus is the planet of the Olmec people, and it was seen as strategically god of war, yet still the goddess of love, beauty, again, and harmony. But when you were born, Venus was in Taurus. Well, that means now that for you to really secure that harmony and that beauty and love that you want to govern your life throughout, you have to go on the offense. You have to be determined. You can't just sit back and wait for it. You got to do something to make it happen. You see, this is what it's all about when we speak about natal chart reading. This ain't no astrological jokey vibes that I see some people be doing. No offense to nobody. This is something that we would have studied for decades now and have now decided to bring this to the forefront. Ancient astronomy. So you also, when you get the catalog, you actually get an understanding of what foods are connected to the same Venus, which obviously these foods are connected to the same Taurus and even Libra. Almond, rose, cherry, orchids, and verbena, vervine, catnip, etc. You know, Mars is connected to Scorpio and to Aries. You understand? And Mars has to do with primal energy and power and desire and action. This is the god of war. That may be true as well, but don't get lost in just the term war. Primal energy. And if you notice, it deals with the muscular system, defense and everything, power, desire, action. Yeah. Same thing with Aries. Same thing with Scorpio. These are action animals. They strike. So when Mars is in these constellations, again, the constellation acts as thrones and the planets are almost like the kings or the queens that come and sit on the throne. So for example, let's just say, let's say Mars at the time of your birth. Let's just do this a different way tonight. Let's say Mars at the time of your birth was in the constellation of Libra. Okay. No, in fact, let's make it nicer. No, do Libra, do Libra. We can do both. Let's do both. Because this is a reality. Mars was in Libra at the birth of someone. So let's just say Mars was in Libra at the time of your birth. Now, again, what does Mars represent? The planet really represents your potential, you know. Keep that in mind. The planet represents your potential, what's inside of you. Mars is action. Yeah. As I said, determination as well. Again, we'll call it the god of war. That's good, but it's desire, it's power, it's primal energy, and it's action. Now, because of that characteristic that's inside of yourself. Remember, we all have that same plan. Everybody has a Mars. Everybody, the Mars was somewhere when everyone was born. So we just have to see where it was. Was it with Libra? Okay, that means now, what does Libra stand for? Libra is a lot of harmony, a lot of love, a lot of beauty and justice. So this means to get the best out of Libra, that harmony, we come back to the same thing. You see that desire that's in Mars? That energy to take action that's in Mars? Yes, that going on the offense that's in Mars. You're going to have to utilize all of that. You can't be lazy. Again, to bring harmony, even if it is amongst your family, to bring beauty, even if it's amongst your environment, to bring love, even if it's inside your own self. Again, what do you have to do? Like Mars, you have to take action. Like Mars, you have to desire it. You have to go on the offense like Taurus too, and still be on the defense. And then now at the same time, Mars, you know, you can look and see the food that is connected with Mars. So remember, number one, anything that has thorns, nettle, even aloes is connected to Mars. Then you have onion and pine and oregano and radish and wormwood and cactus and dragon fruit, all connected to the planet Mars. Okay, good. Now, what I want to do here, let us look at some dates now. Let us look at some dates. I know we could stay all night on that, but remember, you get that catalog. It's a large catalog with beautiful pictures. You get that catalog when you order your natal chart. The catalog comes free when you order, pardon me, your natal chart, your ancient astronomical natal chart. Read it. You understand? Your ancient astronomical natal chart. Read it. All right, let's press pause here. All right, good. positive. Now, family, listen to this. So you were born on the 4th month, January, February, March, April, 4th month, the 19th day in 1967. So you were born on the 4th month, the 4th of April. When were you born? You were born on the 4th of April, 1967. Now, you see, the fact that you would have given us the exact time that you were born, that's very important, because the exact time now will give us a position or give us an understanding of exactly where every heavenly body was at the time of birth. So, for example, so we are sure that you were born military time 2239. That's an exact time, military time 2239. So when you observe that now, you go and you examine, for example, where the sun was when you were born. Now, obviously, as we can see, the sun was basically in the constellation of the fishes, going towards, very soon, going towards the constellation of Aries, a very powerful place in the heavens to be. So during that time, we had what is known as, where is it? Your right declination, yes. 1 hour, 49 minutes, and that is 6 seconds. That's your right declination, or right ascension, pardon. And then your declination is 11 degrees, 4 minutes, 27.4 seconds. Now, although to some, I mean, that's just a lot of maths there, and maybe to some, that doesn't really mean anything. But what I'm showing you, family, when you get a precise astronomical chart reading, natal chart reading from us, you are getting, especially when you have the exact time when you were born, you are getting the exact coordinates of the heavenly body, the sun, the moon, the planets, all the planets. So it's not just the sun was in Pisces. It's not just the moon was wherever the moon was. In fact, so this is your Earth day. Again, the 4th day, or the 4th month, the 19th day, 1967. Good. So we see that the sun is in the constellation of Pisces. The moon, we have the moon in the constellation of Leo. You understand? So this is what it's all about. It's an understanding of exactly where the body was, which is the heavenly body, and what constellation it was connected to. Now, what's interesting here is that the sun is ruled by Leo, the constellation. Some people say the other way around. But the point is both the sun and Leo carry a similar energy. Again, you're dealing with determination. I mean, anyone just understanding the power of the lion, and that is why the lion with its mane actually looks like the sun. So Leo, the lion, and the sun energy actually has the same vibration: resilience, manifestation, self-love, the ego. Although ego now, I know we have ego as a bad term, but ego really is something that can be substituted for determination and heavy faith in yourself. Confidence, what may seem to be overconfidence. So there's a lot of that when it comes to Leo. There's a lot of that when it comes to the sun. So obviously now the sun itself was not in the constellation of Leo. Let's keep that in mind. The sun was in the constellation of Pisces. Now, Pisces is a constellation that has to do with communication. Something similar to Gemini, as well as Pisces is a constellation that, you know, the fact that you have the fish, or what they may call the fishes, you know, it's two fish together. So they're in a pair. in the same way like Gemini is in a pair, you know? So they also deal with communication, anything you see paired up together. Pisces by itself deals with vitality. Pisces deals with joy. Pisces deals with longevity. And of course, the organ is the liver. That's why we say who have the longest liver win, you know, the longest liver. That's why it's called a liver. Longevity, you live long. Okay, very good. In fact, the liver, I think, is one of the only organs, if not the only organ, that literally repairs itself. So you see the fellas that drink a lot of alcohol, you know, you may wonder how he drinks so much rum and he's still around. Well, a lot of it may actually have to do, believe it or not, with the liver. Very good. And Pisces is very deep because Pisces is also connected to psychic energy, which is another level of communication. Pisces has to do with collective dreams. You understand? And all of that is connected to the hypothalamus, it's connected to the endocrine system. Follow me good. So Pisces, again, collective dreams and psychic energy. Those of you who have that ability to collect, you know, dreams, you know that they say that Pisces is somewhat connected to February. And whether astrologically or astronomically, remember, even astrologically, in the astrological world, once upon a time, their maths was correct. It's just that the maths has left them and they're still on the old maths. So if you notice in the 12 tribe of Rastafari, you have what is known as Joseph. Joseph is one of the tribes of Israel. And Joseph is connected to February, for those of you who are Rastafari and know the 12th tribe of Israel Rastafari tradition. So Joseph is connected to February. And if you remember the story of Joseph, he was very good with dreams. He could interpret the dreams and tell the Pharaoh, well, what his dream. He could tell him his dream and then tell him the interpretation of the dream. And Joseph is connected to February. And February is connected to Pisces, and Pisces has to do with dreams. You understand? And the interpretation of it and understanding dreams and that sort of vibration. So those of you who are good with collective dreams and psychic energy, check your natal chart. Now, you may say, well, I wasn't born in February. I was born all the way in July. It doesn't mean you don't have anything to do with Pisces. Maybe the moon was in Pisces when you were born. Maybe a specific planet was in Pisces when you were born. You understand? So now with the natal chart that we are observing here, it is the sun that was in the Pisces of this natal chart, or the natal child. That's what we refer to the individual as, the natal child. So if the sun was in Pisces, and remember the sun is determination, resilience, and ego and all of that vibration, you know, and of course it's power too. Yeah, the sun represents power. This is the sun. The sun represents life. The sun represents rulership. So when you find your sun in a constellation like Pisces, that is governing dreams, that is governing intuition, that is governing longevity, that is governing psychic energy. Are you following me? So that means now you should pay attention to these things, family. You have the sun in Pisces when you were born. You should, that means obviously, you know, March and these times of the year, winter solstice, what do you call our good thing there? Spring equinox and these times of the year. You look into these things. So there's a certain level of power and communication, because we all should have it too. But the combination of the sun, like the sun tapping into that, brings it alive. The sun tapping into the ability
the what you would say the potential energy that's in Pisces brings it alive. But this ain't no magic trick, you know. This is, yes, you've been given a handicap, but it's up to you now to do the rest. Now the moon as well. The moon is inside of the constellation of Leo, at least for this natal chart here. The moon is in the constellation of Leo. And the moon, of course, is also a very key heavenly body here when it comes to understanding what we are dealing with when it comes to the heavens declare the glory of the Most High. Now, the moon is connected to Kepra. The moon, that's why the moon, every month, everybody is looking for the moon, because the moon has to do with resurrection. The moon has to do with a new beginning. So the moon is the emotional body. The moon also has to do with intuition. The moon also has to do with moods. You understand? So that's why you have, different feelings or energy when it comes to the moon. It's not just the woman alone now. We don't have to blame it on the woman and how the woman is moody. Yeah, and the woman goes with the moon. The man also has his mood, and it also can be affected by the moon. It's just a natural thing. So the moon governs the mood. The moon governs also intuition as well. And the moon also carries a certain level of resurrection with it. So when you have the moon coupling itself again now with the constellation of Leo, and what does Leo stand for? Leo is like the sun. Leo again has a lot of determination. Leo again has a lot of ego within it. Leo has a lot of leadership. That is why all of us have leadership in. And depending on where the sun is, in what constellation, is either your leadership that will create the harmony, the love, or it's the love and the harmony that will create the proper environment because of the leadership skills that you would have developed. You see, that's how you work the planets and the constellations together. And if you notice, I'm teaching you how to harmonize them. I don't know how people just blindly go to people and say, yeah, I was born on this day. And then people pull out their cards and the dice and all sorts of things and throw sticks on the table and play jumping jacks with you and say, well, you have the ability to fly. You have the ability to open your own bread shop, and all of that kind of stuff. You can obviously see. That's why earlier I was showing you the Vedic science. You understand the ancient Kemetic science. We have always recognized the heavens. We have always recognized the planets. We always gave value to the constellations. What I am doing here is literally revisiting our ancient art. I'm not confusing it with modern day astrology, obviously. And I'm not even going down the road where astronomy has missed the agency of connecting with the inner self and with the universe. But as I said, astronomically, if tonight, which it is, the moon is occulted Antares in the star or in the constellation of Scorpio, if that is so, that means on the 24th day of February, when you do the astronomical maths, that means the moon will be full in the constellation of Leo and not Virgo. But the astronomical world will be pushing and promoting that from now until the 24th of February. And none of them can prove that to be correct. This is why I am even encouraging you, family. There is value in understanding your natal chart, obviously. There is value Now, I could rattle off a heap of dates and just tell you where the sun and the moon was. And that alone is miles ahead of astrology today. Even if I wasn't to interpret nothing. If I was just to say, well, Mars was in Scorpio and Venus was in Gemini and Uranus was in Aries, more than likely, my reading, which will be correct, will be the correct reading only while the astrological reading might be off, especially with the sun and the moon, especially with the sun and the moon. And the planets too. They're telling us that Pluto is entering into Aquarius when Pluto is just going into Capricorn. This is serious, eh? They're saying next year, Uranus will be going into Gemini. Impossible. And Uranus is still in Aries. It will be entering into Taurus, but again, they're 600 years behind. I know a lot of what I'm saying, many of you are saying, hey, it sounds good. I don't really get everything you're saying, but it sounds good. It's all right. Many of us, we love music. We listen to music. We listen to rap. We listen to this. We don't know everything the fella's saying, but it sounds good. Listen to it again. Soon you'll be able to sing it word for word. Don't worry. Even if you don't, you'll be able to sing it word for word. Not only your natal chart, family. You should enroll in our ancient astronomy course. Yeah. When you enroll in the ancient astronomy course, even when you get your natal chart reading, you have a better understanding of the natal chart reading. When you understand ancient, I think that is the top course right now, the ancient astronomy course. And when it comes to the astronomical science, I'm not afraid to say that there's nothing that can be compared to the ancient astronomy course. Do you want an accurate natal chart reading to know the true position of the sun, the moon, and each planet at the moment that you were being born? We at the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge will create a precise natal chart for you and your loved ones, coupled with snapshot pictures of each planet, the sun, the moon, plus the constellations related to them. In addition to this, we will be giving you a detailed report of the alignment of planets to the constellations and its full meaning, not from an astrological perspective, but from an ancient astronomical perspective. You will have this report for the rest of your life and can share it with your friends and your family. To order your accurate natal chart today, visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. Bless you. Yes, Royal Family, what I want you to do, I want you to join me right now. I'm talking about on Radio Anu. I know you all know how to get to Radio Anu. The link is in the description below. We will definitely continue the vibration right over there. I'm talking about Radio Anu. The link is in the description, priestisaacinstitute.com. Yes, join me on Radio Anu. Let us continue the deep reasoning.
The Tiger's Nest is a Radio Anu International exclusive program brought to you by the Honorable Priest Isaac. The Tiger's Nest is aired live every Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. local standard time. Become a subscriber through our website by visiting www.priestisaacinstitute.com and choose between our subscription plans. Or you can subscribe by using the details provided in the link below.